All right, so boom. Imagine you walking outside. You know, it was a nice, sunny, bright day. You walk outside and you just see your neighbor dancing in the street. Dancing in the street. I just had to say it. It's like a stem. You just see your neighbor dancing in the street. Now, at first, you don't pay no mind because you think, hey, maybe she's just trying to have a little fun. Maybe she needs some money. It's okay. Maybe she just shaking it up for a little cash. You never know with somebody. You don't pay no attention. But then you start realizing that it looks like that she literally cannot stop dancing. Like, it looks like that she's literally dancing to her death. She can't stop. Now days go by, weeks go by, and suddenly hundreds of people are dancing in the street until their feet bleed and they literally collapse from exhaustion. Dead from boogie too hard. That's crazy. What's up, potties? It's the dopest soul you'll ever meet, and welcome to High History, where we talk about real people getting real high back in the day. Okay, so the story starts with a woman named Frau Tofia, but we're gonna name her Frown instead of Frau. We're gonna name her Frown because she didn't have nothing to smile about at all. So on top of the disease and famine and just craziness that was going on at the time, it was said that her husband was overly abusive. Like overly abusive. And I don't even know what overly abusive is in 1518. But I can only imagine that it was like on top of the hitting and all the rest of the getting beat the fuck up and all the rest of the other shit, probably like they disgusting, throwing shit at her and everything. Like, it's the 1518s, like they didn't have no hygiene. So like she was just overly getting abused, getting shit thrown at her and everything in my head. So in July of 1518, Frown stepped into the streets in Strasbourg and started dancing, swirling and whirling and getting down to the boogie. But it wasn't any boogie. Nope, there was no boogie in sight. She was just dancing to silence. Now, at first, people thought that she was drunk or like maybe just celebrating something or something. Me, if I was seeing this and I was looking at it from like me looking at it today, I would have thought she was high. I would have thought she would have took some thrashers, 8 grams of thrashers, some mushrooms, and took a heroic trip. That's me. That's what I thought. But they thought that she was drunk, and I mean that's basically the same thing. So I understand that. I mean, well, it's not the same thing as being high off the thrashers. It's not. But it's still under the influence. So you know, I can understand, basically. Now, what made it a little suspicious, what made people started like talking for real, is like, what the hell is going on? Because it lasted for hours, and then overnight, and then started up the next day, and then went on the next day. So it was like non-stop dancing. The only time she would really stop dancing is maybe like when she collapsed because she was so tired. But she'll get back up soon. She'll spring up like daisies, and she'll just start dancing again. Like, that's crazy. Now, before we actually get into the depths of the dancing hysteria, before we get into everybody dancing and stuff like that, we gotta get to like maybe why they were dancing in the first place. Because you just don't start boogie oogieing out of nowhere. Like, it has to be a reason for some boogie oogie. We're gonna get to it. So let's rewind to rewind this way. Let's rewind to maybe why they started boogie oogieing in the first place. So the people of Strasbourg were already like mentally and physically just destroyed, exhausted. This wasn't like some happy-go-lucky medieval village, you know, like the ones that have all the little markets everywhere, people skipping and dancing, got the ladies with the enormous hoo-has eating turkey legs and shit. It's not that. It's not that at all. Life in 1518 was actually pretty brutal, as you can imagine. So Strasbourg, which is now part of modern-day France, sat inside the Holy Roman Empire. And the average peasant lived under constant fear, bro. And fear of what, you may ask? Everything. Famine, wars, disease, God, and side note, a meteor. Like, yes, like, a meteor literally came down and struck the town of Strasbourg. That, like, what the hell is... I told y'all it's a crazy story, but yes, that's documented. A meteor. A fucking meteor. A rock. From space. I mean, it's 1518. What you thought those people, like, they're terrified right now. They don't know what to do. Most people were poor. And when I say poor, I mean like really poor, extremely poor. Peasants. A bad harvest could literally destroy an entire family. Kill off an entire bloodline. If crops failed, people died. And if disease spread, people died faster. And just during the years leading up to the dancing plague, Europe was just getting hit with disaster after disaster, plague after plague, after meteor. No, it was only one meteor that I know of, but just hit with everything. People were exhausted mentally, and the only way they really knew how to deal with that exhaustion is religion. So they would go to the religious leaders, they would ask for or try to figure out what's going on in their life. Why am I starving? Why is my baby dead? Why do I have to give my baby up to the orphanage? Why only 2 beans grew? And the religious leaders would basically tell them, like, you're getting punished. You need to pray more. I don't know what you did, but you did something wrong. You're getting punished. Imagine life so bad that you just wake up every day just being like, I know God gonna punish me today. What you gonna do today? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, that was normal life for them. The church dominated society. So many religious leaders taught that suffering was the punishment for sin, which is fucked up. So basically, if famine hit your village, maybe God angry at you. If something strange happened, people automatically started looking for supernatural explanations. Oh, side note, just if you didn't pick it up what I'm putting down, because, you know, I don't be wanting to talk about religion and Christianity. I'll really be getting to my boots in the comments every time I do. But if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, the religious leaders were basically on some BS, bro. Like, every time something would go on, it was because they not praying hard enough to the peasants, because they were trying to appease the rich. The royalties. They didn't care about the peasants, bro. So that was their answer for everything. It's just God angry at you. God angry at you. Get out of my way. I'm trying to get the rich people to love me. Move. That's basically what they were putting down. So yeah. Now, if you look at really with a lens of these, like what they were going through, a mass panic doesn't really sound too far-fetched. Like a mass just going snapping and breaking doesn't sound too far-fetched. It's only so much that mentally that humans can take before we literally snap in half. So boom, we back at Frau Tofia dancing in the streets. Okay, so she getting it. She boogie again in the streets. So we back there. So it's been a couple days and she's still boogie again. Now, other residents are starting to join in. So she's not even by herself now. So we got Fred, Tom, Jill, and Harry. They boogie again with Frown too. So everybody just get on up. I shouldn't make a joke about this. This is real serious. Okay, everybody dancing. So maybe my first thought would be like, okay, maybe they just thought she was just a happy-go-lucky person and they just wanted to dance with her. Like they just thought it was a party. Maybe they thought it was a party. But now it seems like they can't stop dancing either. Now, witnesses describe the dancing as like twitching and hopping from foot to foot. Now that's really hard to imagine in my head because I don't. You know, I'm like a visual. I don't see how that would, I can't see that one in my head. But it was said that they were even like screaming in pain and like crying because they couldn't stop. So that had to be like a really disturbing scene. Like that had to be really disturbing for the witnesses. I mean, disturbing for the people that's going through it as well, but like disturbing for the witnesses. Cause what the hell? And according to historical accounts, the numbers just kept growing. I seen some that said it was over 400 people dancing in the streets. Over 400 people uncontrollably dancing in the streets, twitching and hopping from foot to foot. That's a lot of people to not know what the hell is going on. And let me not move ahead. 400 people. Now remember, in 1518, people believed in curses, witches, saints, divine punishment. So people started talking, and that's how rumors get started, because people started talking. So some people believed that the dancers were possessed. Others thought they were cursed by Saint Vitus. I'm so sorry, y'all. Like, look, I went and I researched this and I made sure I pronounced all the words and got all the words right. I was like, I'm gonna make sure I pronounce all the words right. I done got high and forgot how to say the man's name, bro. I done heard this man's name 100 times. It's Vitus. It's Vitus. Cause I know when I was saying Vitus, I was like that. Why did I say it's Vitus? It's Vitus. Saint Vitus. Saint Vitus is very important. Let me tell you. So in the medieval times, Saint Vitus was associated with something that people called dancing mania. So people thought that he can either curse you with the uncontrollable dance or cure you from it. So once the dancing started, fear spread it fast. And as we know, fear is contagious. It's not like a virus contagious. It's not like fear. but it's like mentally contagious. Because like when humans panic together, we start influencing each other in like ways that we don't even understand or we don't even realize that we're doing. Then this is where the story gets insane. And I'm gonna try not to laugh because like I said, this is not a laughing matter. This is not funny. But we need to cure it. Like, we need to cure this dancing mania. It's like 500 people dancing in the streets. Like, what the hell is going on? People are dying. We need to cure this. So guess what the city officials decided to do? Somebody guess what the city officials decided to do for me, please. I can't wait. I gotta tell you, I cannot wait. I can't wait. You didn't guess fast enough. They decided that the dancers needed to dance more. They need to exhaust themselves. Once they get the dance out, it should be over with. They need to dance more today. So they built stages, they hired musicians, the whole 9 yards. And they even brought in dancers to help accompany the folks that was already dancing. The ones that was screaming in agony and asking for help. It was like, please help me, please, I can't dance no more, please help me. They brought in dancers to help those ones keep dancing. What the hell is... What in the... So at that time, the people in charge really thought that this was medical treatment. And that really tells you how clueless everybody really was at this time. Like, I'm not gonna get into the European medicine. But this just tell you how at this time, I'm just gonna say at this time, not at this time. At that time, how clueless everybody was. Now, according to several reports, things got worse. And you probably like, how the hell did it get worse? It got worse. Some witnesses said people danced until their feet literally bled. Other victims literally passed out and not even passed out. They died. They died from heart attacks, strokes, and being exhausted. Like they just couldn't take it no more. Now historians debate on how many deaths actually happened per day. But some stories said that 15 people died a day. 15 people died a day from dancing. That's not a way to go. I don't care what you're trying to say. I can hear you through the screen. That is not a way to go. I don't want to, it's not. If I would no, you're thinking that if I gotta go, at least I go dancing. No. I don't want to go that way. That's extreme. That's horrible. No. So the dancing finally stopped in September. That's like, 2 months? September of 1518. The city officials put all the dancing maniacs in wagons, put red shoes on their feet in honor of St. Vitus, and whisked them off up to a mountain to pray. That's all we know. That's literally all we know. We don't know if it worked. We don't know if it didn't work. We don't know if they just offed them. We don't know. But that's what happened, and the dancing mania stopped. So that's the mystery there. So what actually caused the dancing plague? That's the question that everybody still argue about today. What caused the dancing plague? One theory says it was ergot poisoning. So ergot is like a fungus that grows on rye bread, and it can cause like hallucinations and twitching. But here's what I don't understand about that one. So hallucinations and twitching is something, but dancing for days is some, I don't understand. I don't think that's the same thing. But that's one of the theories, that it could be ergot poisoning, and they peasants and stuff, so of course they was eating moldy bread that would probably have that fungus on it. But like I said, dancing until you can't stop and literally calling out for help and twitching and hallucinating from bread is two different things. Most people compare the ergot fungus to LSD because of the chemicals that's related. And for years, people did wonder, did contaminated food really make people trip out like that? But many modern historians don't fully believe that no more. And that's good, because like I said, I didn't understand that one either. Instead, many experts think it was just a case of mass psychological illness. Basically, the whole town was stressed the fuck out. Well, the peasants anyway, were just stressed the fuck out. And they couldn't take it no more, and when one person snapped, everybody snapped. That made a little more sense to me, especially knowing what the hell everybody going through, especially with the religious leaders. Yeah, they probably snapped. And the St. Vitus angle makes it even more darker, because medieval people didn't separate religion from everyday life. Religion was life. St. Vitus came associated with nervous disorders and crazy movements centuries before all this even happened. So once people thought his curse was involved, everybody just thought this was spiritual now. And that panic became real. People even dedicated whole shrines to St. Vitus. I'm trying to crack the case. I can't crack this case. I don't know. I'm just trying to, I don't know. Maybe it was, I don't know. I don't know. Was it stress? Was it religion? Was it just mass craziness? Was it poisoning? I don't know. But what I do know that in 1518, a brief moment in history, people boogie-oogied until they literally couldn't boogie-oogie no more. We do know that. We just don't know why. That's the scary part to me. That's the scary part. We need to figure that out. But I hope you enjoyed this High History. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. If you have any ideas, if you have any stories that you want me to do or something like that, make sure you put them in the comments. Make sure you smoke the gas and make sure you pass it. Dope Soul out.